Charge of unwarranted, unsophisticated, non-debatable, and poor narrative from members of the opposition, CPP specifically. Let me quickly begin by debunking, first and foremost, and providing sense into the heads of those who think they want to govern the country, and they come with 40 analysis on the governance process of our country and an unwarranted attack on the citizen-led administration. Having said that, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, the current chairman of the CPP, specifically Chairman Cummins, have been making some sweeping allegations. And amongst those allegations, reading from OKFM news script, in the quotation, he said that Yeket action is law for country. Let me repeat. Represent the Yeket called by action, quote unquote, by Cummins is law for country. This brings to attention the common reply is a clear example of the kind of government he intends to run, where people will be lured onto their own, like warlords, and with gross disrespect to women who in the Republic of Liberia. If the chairman of collaborating political institution will come out in defense of absolute stability, but on this vehicle, it shows the kind of chaotic government that the CPP administration will be portrayed. And many Liberians to condemn the chairman of the CPP for supporting a statement that insult the women of our country, somebody who said he has no concern for women in our country, especially what our Koluba will insult the biological mother of the President of the Republic of Liberia, and the CPP cannot take the courage to condemn that, except Mr. Ure, who said in the CPP that such thing is not favorable for the final march of our country. That's the only exception. Again, Alexander Cummins, Chairman CPP, said, this government is investing in militarizing them, referring to the president that he militarizing them, the young people, inciting them into violence, and teaching them that it is acceptable to lie, to steal, to be dishonest and intolerant to others. Militarize is unfortunate. Is he talking about the action that occur on their political headquarters, where young, exuberant young people pick up cutlasses to wound each other, where people were burning tires? The CPP did not condemn arson attack in Monrovia by a group, a surrogate group that they support, a quote-unquote pressure group, and an offspring of the CPP called COP. Cummins refused to condemn such an arson and terroristic attack, when members of the CPP are taking responsibility for that. So who is teaching the young people military action or militancy? Who is teaching the young people violence when you cannot condemn your own? That is a historic contradiction, and we have come to ensure that we add greater value and dismantle the inept nature of the conversation coming from the CPP. Not only that, it said young people are being wrongly impressed that education is not important. Let me repeat. Cummins said young is not important. What a contradiction. When the former chairman of the ANC that Cummins sat under and took into election was booted out of Cottington for falsifying documents as teacher or professor of Cottington and preside over the ANC, who is saying the truth. Not only that, when you supported Kennedy certificate, and if the chairman of the CPP disprove this, I hold on to my word and take a solemn oath and commitment to the Almighty God that I will resign my position tomorrow. So what Alexander Cummings is saying, he knows nothing about people surrounding him. In fact, interestingly, Cummings does not even understand the team that he has, because there is no team. In politics, to show a team is to look at the people who surround you when you move from place to place politically, campaigning, or creating awareness. Is Jacob Colbert, for example, the new defense minister or chief of staff for Alexander Cummings? Is that the team we're talking about? Is Star Wombe one of those of the team? Is Horatio Gould part of the team? Has he checked the academic credential to know where they stand, which class they stop in, whether they graduated from high school? You cannot question. But let me say to you what we've done for the young people. We ensure as a government and people and as a political institution that every public school that are going to take WAS, the President of the Republic of Liberia, through his instrumentality, has ensured that WAS fees are being paid. Not only that, but every public college and university in the Republic of Liberia, I'm not saying private, this government has inherited the liability of paying tuitions. Those are young people, dominant young people. So for someone to argue, for the chairman of the CPP to ignorantly argue that we care less about the educational growth of young people, it's a trash political statement that must be withdrawn, and the very young people must condemn the CPP. That's why they should not be given power, because the threat on gossip, lies, and deceit. Another thing he said, he's worried about women political participation under this government. And he spoke about immorality. Women political participation. The president has absolute authority over the executive by the Constitution to appoint by way and pleasure. The president does not have absolute authority over the national legislature. People go to primaries. The voters make a decision. Political institutions register their candidates. So as a result of that, you will have either male or female participation in politics. But that means maybe Alexander Cummings is quick to forget, as a businessman who had never been in the political body sphere of our country. A lot of public corporations in Liberia, we have women that head those corporations that can attest to that. A lot of assistant ministers and deputy ministers, we have women in those positions. Not only that, at the ministerial position, we also have women. Cummings must take the courage enough to inform the Liberian people. The first deputy female chief of staff in the history of Liberia. Not only that, but it may be the first deputy chief of staff in the history of West Africa. My record may not be 100%. Is he employing the government for that? They're not employing the government for that. Interestingly, at the National Elections Commission for the first time, we've had not less than 5 women confirmed by the very CPP lawmakers. So where is Cummings taking his custom from about immorality, about we don't empower women? But we can understand. There are some people who don't love women, but they love boys. So we can understand from whence the immorality customs come from. And those in radio land, those witnessing this live view, can stage that debate in time to. Another thing is that he struck another point. He said the progress of the nation is not measured in building rules. In buildings, I mean, in rules. It is always measured in human capacities and conditions. Fair enough. If it's not measured in rules, if it's not measured in buildings, so what is it measured in? He said human capacities. That's why we're sending people to school. Then I re-emphasize about the University of Liberia and the public high schools in Liberia and that of the public universities in Liberia. Now, let me come to the deceptive Senator Nyomli Kanga of Grand Bassa County. It's certain that a certain senator of the Republic of Liberia will forget so soon. When I read the narrative on the Facebook page of Senator Nyombli Kaka Lawrence, I shed tears because it's not the lady that I went to Grand Bassa to support to become senator. Let me give you a historicity. The first election she contested in, the CDC did not put a candidate against her. The reason was simple. The flag bearer had requested to CDC. I've taken the message to Grand Bassa County as a member of the Secretariat to appeal to the CDC branch in Grand Bassa County that we need to support a female, not from our political institution, but from the Liberty Party. We supported her, and she won the election. We did not stop there. When President Salif left the stage, we ensured that we brought a female as our vice running mate. We drove to Buchanan, President and a few other persons, including myself. We pleaded with her that in the supreme interest of supporting women across the country, to support a ticket where the first female vice president in the history of the country will be elected, where Liberia will have the first female vice president. She publicly denounced that, and in the run-up election supported an all-male candidate. Not only that, her best friend, may her soul rest in perpetual peace, the late Senator Geraldine Doe Sharif. She passed away. Again, there was this argument about replacement. We ensure, as a political institution, the CDC, to have put on our ticket a female. Senator Kambla again, in a deceptive manner, went and supported publicly a male candidate against a female candidate. What is of interest? You are not crying, this is your time. Time to eat your own baby, you crying. You want to hide a baby. You refuse to support female candidates. And today you are crying to play the sympathy card that you are the only female candidate for now. How many females the CPP has? Instead of trying to clean the mess internally within the CPP, you are attacking the Coalition for Democratic Change as a political leader in the CPP. You don't even have the courage to encourage more women on the ticket. That is maximum hypocrisy. But I want to say to Senator Kanga, who is one of the political leaders in the CPP, probably she have forgotten so soon. No political party in the history of the Republic of Liberia, let me repeat, no political party in the history of this country since 1847 had more female contestants in election in this country than the mighty Congress for Democratic Change. That's why in the political history of our country, the CDC has elected, let me repeat, more female lawmakers than any political institution in all of the elections that we participated in all legislative elections that were participated in combined. The CDC has had more women. The CDC has elected more women to the House of Senate, the legislature. The majority of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change, sitting as the chairman at the highest authority in terms of the day-to-day affairs of our political institution, being chairman. So what can you say? What is the argument against Mona Pena Nyombla, the late in District? She supported a male candidate against Representative Nyombla. People got to stop being deceptive. People got to start lying to the Liberian people that they are concerned about Liberia, that they are concerned about women empowerment, when they themselves have demonstrated nothing at all. Let me come to the last and we'll take the question. Having listened to Senator DeLong presenting a political bill and not really an economic bill with the quest of being re-elected You know, education is very important. It's extremely important. And I hear Alexander Cummings talking about education. The first thing, the bill is dead upon arrival. Let me repeat why. Constitutionally, the bill is dead upon arrival. Quoting Article 36, that's what he quoted, one of the articles, that says the senators and the representatives shall receive from the Republic remuneration for their services to be fixed by law, provided that any increase shall become effective at the beginning of the next fiscal year. But again, the crafter, or the one who drafted the bill, and the one who sponsored the bill, failed to read Article 36DR. What does it say? You know, the Constitution, there are provisions that complement other provisions. I want you to listen in radio length clearly, and lawyers will tell you this. Article 34DR says, all revenue bills, whether subsidies, charges, inputs, duties, or taxes, and other financial bills shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with the amendments as on other bills. The Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. It says, all financial bills shall originate in the House of Representatives. That is a financial bill. Senator has demonstrated maximum illiteracy, maximum ineptitude. I don't know whether he consulted Alexander Cummings. For the Senate to entertain the reading of that bill and act on it is a breach of the Liberian Constitution, which will not be tolerated in the House of Representatives. It's our responsibility by the Liberian Constitution, as they have a responsibility to confirm. They have that responsibility. The Constitution gave them the responsibility to confirm. It's a usurpation of the function of the House of Representatives. For a novice senator, after 1 year, you are still a novice. After 1 year, after working in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, at the highest level in the Speaker office, you don't even know that financial bills. Let me read so the public can hear one more time. It says all revenue bills, whether subsidies, charges, inputs, duties, or taxes, and other financial bills shall originate in the House of Representatives. But the Senate may propose or concur with amendment as on other bills. This is a financial bill. You think you will come here and create catharsis or emotions with the hope that the Liberian people will give you power in the senatorial election. That is the purpose. It could be that Senator DeLong knows very well that financial bills don't originate in the Senate. It's an insult to the Liberian Senate Secretary to say, I carry the financial bill and he signed for it. It's an insult. It could be that he knows that the bill will not pass because the Senate has no constitutional authority to act on financial bills. If the House does not act, then send it to them for concurrence or rejection. Cummings is talking about education. He himself needs to be schooled. What I demand from Senator DeLong is to submit the bill to the lower house, to CPP representatives, to sponsor the bill on the floor. If they were very cohesive, if Senator DeLong was working with his colleagues, trust me, he would have been properly advised. That's why I've argued that Monrovia is underrepresented, not underrepresented, but the level of illiteracy that this young advocate has brought to the table is destructive for the forward march of the Republic of Liberia. How can you even argue that the protein, the speaker, and the rest of the lawmakers should make now more than $5,000 when the bill does not set? How much representatives will be making? how much senators will be making, how much the pro tem will be making, how much the speaker will be making. So the bill is full of ambiguity and must be thrown into the dustbin. It needs proper research. You cannot submit a bill with all clarity. You're talking about paying people. Our listing killer said the pro tem, the speaker, the rest of the lawmakers should not make more than $5,000. He's taking that responsibility that he should be presenting to the Liberian people and putting it back to the legislature. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, my fellow Liberians, I want to state to you that we didn't eat our school fees. We will not sit and allow individuals to mislead the Liberian people. Let me repeat, we will not sit and allow. Because if one senator will call his colleagues in a demeaning manner, and today he cannot respond or repeat that same word, I told you people something here before, that I defy him to repeat what he said. He went on his knees, begged those people that he will never repeat such a thing against the Liberian Senate. You saw the question and answer time during the press briefing. But let me say to Senator Delon and her cohorts, including members of the CPP, I owe no apology.